Blockbuster clash, match number 52 is the reverse fixture between RCB and CSK. Orko with me. Orko, the points table now looks a little bit uncertainty because we have said it before as well. Rajasthan could be the second team that gets eliminated. Rightly so. They were hammered yesterday by the Mumbai Indians, but Chennai Super Kings already knocked out. While RCB currently at the second spot, if they win, they once again go back to the top spot. Your thoughts on how important this game is, especially for RCB at home, which has not been a happy hunting ground?
Absolutely. I think more than the points, I think it's the confidence that matters for RCB, which they would like to get playing at home because the number of games they're winning away from home is a stark opposite as to what they're doing at home. And it's really sad that a team of such ability, such form, such stars in their players, who are in their team, who have a lot of good touch as well. If you look at Virat, if you look at Hazelwood, Bhuvi, and all are doing pretty well. So it's only a matter of time when they'll start firing at home. So I think this could just be the beginning. And they are playing a team which is totally depleted. They call them their rivals, but more than a rivalry, it's like a one-sided fixture at the moment. CSK could try and play party spoilers, but I think RCB have a greater importance in this game to just bring back their lost confidence in their home turf.
100%. But in the previous game, there was no Phil Salt. Despite that, they got the two important points against the Delhi Capitals. This team, do you think the best signing for the RCB has been Kunal Pandya?
Definitely, and they were pretty confident about his abilities as well. I mean, if you look at the post-auction videos that they posted on social media on YouTube, Dinesh Karthik was very vocal about the fact that we really wanted Kunal Pandya because others would go for a bigger name spinner, but we wanted him because he's not just an all-rounder, but a very witty player in total. He can give a lot even on the field. He has a bit of leadership ability as well, and of course, he's a very unnatural bowler, not a typical spinner. Bowls more like a medium pacer, but bowls some clever lines and lengths with good variations in pace. So I think he's the most crucial signing they probably could have thought of. He's already maybe given them match-winning impact in 3 games, and this is the fourth. And for a change, he gave that impact with the bat. I mean, he
With the
was till
bat.
now more of a bowler, but now he has started giving his impact with the bat. And maybe someone associated with the surname Pandya is known for clutch performances, and it's no different that Prunal is doing what Hardik often does.
Absolutely. Both the Pandya brothers are clutch players. We saw Hardik Pandya doing it against the Rajasthan Royals. Kunal Pandya has been doing entire season for the Royal Challengers Bengaluru. But on the other hand, Chennai Super Kings, I don't like that part when I see something where a player should get a credit and doesn't get because it's your other end. You have the great man walking out. Sam Curran scored a wonderful 88 in the previous game, but was dismissed. And Wright came in jersey number 7, and you expect what the crowd would go for. Don't you think that he deserves a little bit of credit? But what do you think about the Chennai crowd? Don't you think they are completely towards just one man?
Well, definitely. It is disrespectful, and I think it was very saddening as a player. You know, if you're not MS Dhoni, when you play for that franchise, you don't really get the recognition or credit that you deserve. But again, that's just a matter of time because we do know that MS is at the twilight of his career very soon, maybe this year or next year or sooner than later he'll leave. So all these players who perhaps are being, behind curtains would certainly come out into the limelight because then
Correct.
CSK would be looked at as a team, not as Dhoni's team, which has been the case from the last few
But
years,
what about the
especially
fans?
because
Do you
he's
think the fans will come out in numbers like they're doing now?
well, the right ones would. I mean, the true loyal fans, if they call themselves one, should prove themselves to be one. They would certainly come out in numbers, even if Dhoni is not there. Or maybe Dhoni might take up a mentorship role. I think CSK would be very much open for that. And maybe seeing that also, a number of fans could turn up. But
Correct.
I think you need to turn up because you support the team and not a man alone. So I think at least the local fans, the Tamilians, they are the ones who love CSK passionately. They certainly wouldn't leave this team anytime sooner. The other ones, maybe they would, and that's of course their own choice. But I think the team CSK, the brand CSK, would be rekindled once Dhoni hangs up his boots.
100%. That is 100% true. Talking about Mahendra Singh Dhoni, what he does this season around. He was asked by Danny Morrison. He said, definitely in playing the next game. I haven't thought about the next season, but let's see. Only time will tell. RCB's run in form so far around in this series, in this tournament. So far, they have 4 matches left, Orko, and they can possibly, at this moment, they're in 14 points, 1 foot into the playoff spots as well. Chennai, LSG are the next 2 games. Don't you think they should win the 2 games and seal their spot into the top 2 before they go on to a face SRH and ending the home game, also the group stages against the Kolkata Knight Riders?
Definitely, they have to look at posing one game at a time. But to start with, they should try to win at home because that's where they have not have the greatest of confidence. So certainly playing against a team like CSK, which is pretty much off form and off color and depleted, and if they win against them, it gives them 2 valuable points. And as I previously stated, some much needed confidence playing in their home turf before the knockouts. So I think that's crucial for RCB to win right now, taking one game at a time because we all know SRH is a giant killer team and so is KKR. So better not to leave anything too late. So I think they would perhaps want to capitalize on this opportunity versus CSK at home.
Absolutely, but they have three games at home out of their four, which could be a little bit concerning for RCB. But if they have the momentum and if they play good cricket, if they have the luck of winning the toss and batting second, I think then they have a chance on their hands at home. But talking about Chennai Super Kings, they have nothing to lose. Four games left. They have RCB, KKR, CSK, and GT. For very, very difficult side because Kolkata Knight Riders, I think, will be hungry to get all the victories and move up to 17 points. They also will face Kolkata Knight Riders CSK, but what can they do right at the moment? Give opportunities to youngsters because I don't know why Deepak Huda keeps getting chances every game despite not performing.
Absolutely. You have to look at the future when you know that you're already out of the contention. So they should try people from the bench. People like Andre Siddharth has been promising, and even Vansh Bedi has been promising. You can try out such options from the bench before you lose them out to other teams when they enter the auction. So you have to recognize your own talents and give them the platform. I'm happy that they have done the same with Sheikh Rashid and even Ayush Mahatre. So you can try a bunch of more youngsters who have yet not been given the chance, and perhaps if one or two of them come out to be big guns, then it will only help in your future.
Absolutely agreed. But what about the surface of the Chinnaswamy Stadium? We know it's a chasing hunting ground. We know that the team batting second will have some advantage in this stadium. But your thoughts, what do you think? Because if you look into the numbers, first of all, Orko, then 200 has been scored in the previous game where Rajasthan Royals choked versus RCB. The average score has been around 170s. Don't you think that's below par? Because that's not a typical Chinnaswamy we know.
Well, it's below par, and I actually love it, because it gives the opposition a chance to bowl well as well. Because earlier, Chinnaswamy was such a track that even good bowlers and good bowling spells used to turn out to be a nightmare because batsmen used to easily get runs even off edges or mistimed shots as well. So it's good that the pitch has been a bit competitive, and it will only help RCB. Maybe now they are not winning, but sooner than later in this season or the next, they'll certainly start winning with the kind of bowling attack they have. And if you look at the two teams that are playing each other, CSK is depleted with the bat and RCB is a gun with the ball. So certainly this track would help RCB to knock over CSK. Perhaps try to not just win, but try to win it big so that they boost their net
Correct.
run rate. So that's what RCB should aim at doing and try to take advantage of a team that is completely off color.
Absolutely. That is the best time because we remember what happened last time around when these two teams met at the Chinnaswamy Stadium. There was people in the streets when RCB qualified. Can we see something similar? Like we will not see something people in the streets, but can RCB do the double over the Chennai Super Kings? I think possibly the first time because they never defeated them at Chapal. They did that this time around. Can we see that? But as of now, strategic timeout section now, Orko, over to you. Four questions, 60 seconds. Your time starts now. Mahendra Singh Dhoni or Jitesh Sharma, which wicket keeper do you think will have a bigger impact?
Well, the team that takes more wickets would give greater chance to the wicket keeper. So I assume RCB have a better bowling attack. So Jitesh would have greater chances to, complete dismissal. So Jitesh for me.
Okay, Shivam Dube or Tim David, who will hit more sixes?
I think Shivam Dube because he comes slightly higher up the order than Tim David. So I think Shivam Dube has a greater chance.
Okay, this one is a tough one. Krunal Pandya or Ravindra Jadeja, who will pick more wickets?
Again, Krunal, as I said, batting form, CSK has been a bit down in batting form, so Krunal would like to take advantage of it. So Krunal for me.
Once again, form is what Orko goes for. Final one, your player of the match for this crucial game.
Perhaps Phil Salt, I think, because he's someone who gives them those starts, and if he converts it into a big one, because it's due for a pretty long time. And CSK's power play bowling has had some woes. Khalil has been here and there. Kamboj has not been in the best of form, so maybe Salt for me.
Wonderful. Thank you so much because I think this is the first time this season I've asked a player of the match in an RCB game and I've not heard the name Virat Kohli. And similarly for DC, I'm always hearing K. Rao. Thank you so much for a different name, to be honest. Moving on to the players to watch out for. Here are my picks, Orko. You cannot keep this man out for too long. Virat Kohli, Rajat Patidar, and Hazelwood are my three players to watch out for. Sam Curran, MS Dhoni, and Ravindra Jadeja are for the men in yellow. Any different names from your end?
Well, certainly these are the players who will be crucial, especially for RCB. Kohli would be crucial. Particular, of course, again the middle overs, that spin basher role that he takes up. He's not been getting too many opportunities because the top is doing well. Particle is doing well, but again, maybe Particular, as we talked about, Salt has a big knock to come from his back. I would even say Phil Salt has a good chance because at the power play, CSK have had their problems, so Salt might want to take advantage. And of course, their bowling unit is led by Hazelwood, so certainly Hazelwood is the one who might want to hunt in packs because CSK's batting in the top of the order has been a bit shaky, and with the inexperience of Rashid, And Mahatri, I think people like Hazelwood and Bhuvneshwar would try to capitalize. And in CSK, of course, as you said, Dhoni would be in the mix because he plays those cameos down the order. His captaincy brain, his keeping skills, you cannot keep them out. And as people say, enjoy the blast as long as it lasts.
Correct.
So we don't know when Dhoni is going to leave the game. As long as he's there, even if you're an RCB fan, you would want to see some moments of magic from the big man. So I think Dhoni would be crucial. Jadeja also would have a big role, he neutralized people like Kohli,
Batting
Patidar,
higher
and
up the
also
order.
Salt. Yeah, absolutely. He's batting higher up the order, given a lot of responsibility. Maybe he might once again become the captain of the team if Dhoni decides to leave and Gaikwad is not trusted again. So those are, of course, things that time will tell. But I believe Jadeja also would have a big role in this game.
Okay, but before I move on to the battles as well, you said about Jadeja could be the captain. I reckon when MSD will announce his retirement from IPL as well, I think Jadeja and Ashwin will do the same together.
Possibly, I mean, certainly they are not into international cricket anyhow. I mean, Jadeja is not in international T20 anyhow, and Ashwin altogether, just like Dhoni. So maybe they might do that, or if they want to go for a comparatively smoother transition, then maybe they may decide to stay. So, of course, time will tell.
Okay, but is this season around for the Chennai Super Kings? Has Matisha Patirana been their worst bowler, or is it somebody else?
Definitely, Patirana has been big disappointment. Even one of your messages, I remember you said he's one of those most not talked about, overrated
Absolutely.
players at the moment, and he's certainly not being talked about as to how Kohli is performing. People like Krunal are staying underrated in the shadows of Kohli or Salt
Correct.
or etc. But someone like Patirana is not even being talked about as to how
Yeah,
horrendous he's been. I mean, he's had hardly any impact in this tournament. He's been
exactly. And
retained
coming
for a
in
very
with
hefty
just
sum.
wides after wides, that's not accurate enough.
Exactly. It's certainly worrying, and even if you look at the composition in total, I thought CSK had a very good auction. They had some good amount of players in the bench, but somehow all of them started underperforming, like Conway, like Rachin. Who knew that
Yeah.
they would have to look beyond Rachin and
Beyond,
Conway to play someone
absolutely.
like
Yeah.
Mahatre, Rashid. It's a collective failure in total. Vijay Shankar has failed, Huda has failed. I mean, this is perhaps the most horrible season CSK could ever dream of. And even if you look at the bench, people like Nathan Ellis or Jamie Overton is not
Yeah.
getting chances because of Pathirana's reputation. So I think Ellis would have been a very handy bowler if he was given
Absolutely. He
significant
should
amount
have
of
played.
games
Because
in chipper.
when Patirana is not doing his back of the hand slower balls from Enlis could have been very, very vital for them.
Definitely, and Ellis also adds some batting value. He has also been in the leadership group of the team. So I think that's a very big miss that a player like him is underutilized because of Pathirana.
Absolutely, 100% agreed. Time to move into the battles, and here are my picks. Josh Hazelwood versus Shivam Dube is my battle number one. Yas Dayal versus Mahendra Singh Dhoni is my battle number two. And Khalil Ahmed versus Virat Kohli is my battle number three. Which one are you definitely watching?
Well, of course, a battle which has Kohli or Dhoni would be interesting. Of course, I would even say Salt versus Khalil would be crucial because Salt has had a bit of problems with the left arm pace. Arshdeep's been traveling in, Bolt has troubled him. So maybe Khalil, knowing that he's a power play specialist, maybe the only little shining light in their power play bowling would be Khalil. So Khalil versus Salt would be crucial. And as you already said, Hazelwood versus Dubey would be a very interesting battle because Dubey has his problems against bounce and Hazelwood is like an exponent of back of the length bowling, especially in Chinnaswamy. So that will be a crucial battle to watch out to.
Okay, and what about Yash Dayal versus Mahendra Singh Dhoni? Is it does
Again,
Thala has a score to settle?
well, he definitely does, but again, it's dead rubber. Even if you slam a few against Dayal, it's necessarily not going to be meaningful for your seasons. I mean, for your team's chances. But of course, as I said, people would want to be entertained, as enjoy the blast as long as it lasts. So Dhoni would want to do that as long as he plays for the team, and every fan, irrespective of whether they are an RCB fan or CSK fan, would love to see it.
100%. Our time to move on to the predicted playing 11 time, starting with the home side, RCB. Right in something that is broken. They have hardly made any changes despite losing games at home or not. Unchanged 11 according to Miyako.
Definitely, unless they really want to rest someone, but I think there's no room for
This is
resting
not the
because the
right time
top
to rest.
four, it's not the right time to rest. They do have options. They have people like Shepherd to try. They have people like Nuwan Tushara to try. But I think it's not the right time to rest because, six teams are breathing heavily to enter into the top four. You would perhaps assume that Mumbai have qualified, but again, Punjab is
Correct.
trying to make inroads. Lucknow is trying to make inroads. Maybe a win or two from SRH or KKR, and they would also be in the reckoning. So I think RCB should not take their current spot for granted, and that's what their playing 11 would reflect as well. They will certainly go unchanged.
100%. But as you said about, I'll ask you after the playing 11 is done. Moving on to the Chennai Super Kings playing 11. can this team do at the moment? I don't think so, because I'm going with the same 11. But can we see a brave call of having Nathan Ellis in place of Patirana?
It should be. I mean, if not now, then when? You would perhaps lose Ellis to some other team and then he ends up getting 50, 20 wickets for that team because he certainly has that caliber. And even
Correct.
Punjab underutilized him because even in Mulanpur, a bowler like Ellis would be very handy, but they didn't keep
And
him. Of
more,
course, they're
it
still
would
a
be
strong
handful
unit.
in Chepauk.
Definitely, in Chepauk, he would have been even more of a handful. And Dhoni being such a great game reader, also back into captaincy, certainly unexpectedly, I would say, underutilized him. So perhaps now is the right time to really find, ways as to how your next season planning would go. And if Ellis ends up getting wickets in the last few games, then definitely CSK would consider it as a good shining prospect for the future.
Absolutely, maybe for the next season around. But before we move on to the predictions time now, Orko, as of now, while Gujarat and SRH are playing their game, we have Mumbai Indians, RCB, Punjab, Gujarat, and Delhi, who are near about in the top four, starting from the top. Out of these five teams, which team do you think, as of now, is under the heat of missing out from the playoffs? Is it Delhi Capitals?
Has to be. I mean, Delhi Capitals certainly have disappointed. As far as I remember, they have lost, three games out of four in Kotla, and
In the last
it's
five, yeah.
surprising. It's surprising because I know that they have a bad record in Kotla, and many people say that's why they started looking at Vizag as a second home where they won both their games. But again, we should not say that because you are local to that franchise, and certainly you're expected to do well in your home turf. But somehow the results haven't come, and maybe they'll come pretty soon. But as of now, they have the heat on their shoulders, and even they are not trying out certain players they should. Maybe Natarajan is not being used as
Yeah,
well as they want
absolutely.
to. So
Let's
if
talk to
he's
Mukesh.
fit and
Yeah.
available, he should be used certainly. I mean, Mukesh is definitely good. Mohit is also good, but Natarajan gives you a bit more variety, I would say, as a left hammer. So perhaps he could be tried, and they have certain things to add. The batting is pretty good. Maybe at the top they can make a few changes because Karun Nair has got his chances, but hasn't really looked
I
great. They
think
could
now
bat
he
for a
should be given back to the dugout. They should have somebody else. Ashutosh should be in the 11 as well. Karun Nair is not working because Karun Nair Faf becomes the same similar type of players, and that puts down KL Rahul at 4, Akshar at 5, because Stubbs at 6 is not that useful enough. Stubbs should be at 5 with Akshar at 4 and KL Rahul at 3. We'll see, only time will tell about the Delhi Capitals, but as of now, prediction time now, putting you into the hot seat. Big game, but how much is it a big game for you? Match number 52, RCB versus CSK at Chinnaswamy Stadium. Your percentage for this game, Arko?
Well, usually I play it safe. I usually prefer, form and momentum. But for SRH and GT, I said SRH would win. I don't know what would happen in that game ultimately. But I would call myself a fool if I say CSK certainly would win this game. So they have a poor chance of proving me wrong. I would say 80-20 in favor of RCB winning this game.
That's a huge number, 80-20 towards the Royal Challengers Bengaluru against the Chennai Super Kings. How often have we heard this? But yes, thank you so much, Arko. Thank you to all the viewers who are watching this one. It's RCB versus CSK. A win for RCB. They move on to 16 points, I beg your pardon. And they have a 100% a big chance of making it to the top two as well. Don't forget to subscribe to Fifth Number. Press the bell icon as well. Thank you so much, and bye-bye.